Well, hello there, Miami Dolphin fans, and welcome to D-Dub's Dolphins Dialogue. I've been a Dolphin fan for more than 40 years, and for me, I wouldn't change a thing. I would keep it just the way it was, except for maybe adding a few more Super Bowls for Marino. With that being said, I wanted to come at you with some information regarding the 2021 Miami Dolphins. Specifically tonight, we're going to be talking about the linebacker unit. So I want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Tonight, we're going to be bringing you uh, some information, like I said earlier, about the linebacker unit and edge rushers for the Miami Dolphins. So this will be our agenda for the evening. As you see, we'll be discussing edge rushers and linebacker standard bearers, which are those linebackers and edge rushers that led the league last year. Also, linebacker 2020 stats for the Miami Dolphins with respect to the current Dolphins linebackers and how those linebackers rated for the season for 2020 and who I think will be the opening day linebackers for the Miami Dolphins. And you never know what may happen during the final cuts, maybe some possible acquisitions. So, with that being said, let's move on to the next area. First and foremost, I have up there on the screen right now, you see Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner, Khalil Mack, and TJ Watt, two linebackers in Fred Warner and Bobby Wagner, and two edge rushers, Khalil Mack and TJ Watt. Those four players set the standard last year in 2020 with respect to linebacker and edge play. And as you can see, all four made the Pro Bowl, all pro status. They had defensive overall ratings above 85. They had a run defense of rating of more than 65, a pass rush rating at a minimum of 75, a coverage rating close to 70, and they each had over 950 snaps. So there you have the standard for edge rushers and linebackers. Oh, and I forgot the one other stat that I think is important is the amount of sacks. And if you look for especially specifically for the edge rushers, double digits in sacks. Now, some people would think, well, we had Kyle Van Noy last year, you know, and they thought that he might be coming back this year. But as you can see, uh, his stats paled in comparison to those four players with respect to defensive rating, run defensive rating, pass rush rating, coverage rating, the amount of tackles, and sacks. So I can understand why Flores and Greer decided to move past Kyle Van Noy, not uh, continue his contract and release him. I mean, when you compare his stats to what Fred Warner, Bobby Wagner, Khalil Mack, and TJ Watt did last year, the Dolphins were not getting the full bang for their money. So they decided to move on from him. And contrary to what some people may have thought, they didn't get stuck with a large contract as far as dead money is concerned because the way they arranged the contract, it they were able to get out of it without having to pay him uh, large portions of his remaining contract. So I think that Flores and Greer made a wise decision, and you consider the fact that uh, Kyle Van Noy is brought in here to mentor Andrew Van Ginkel. So he did that, but he didn't live up to the expectations of that contract. And even though that contract was 24th in the league with respect to uh, the edge rushers and or linebackers, you see that it, he wasn't fulfilling and wasn't coming close to the standard bearer stats. So that being said, they moved on. The Dolphins have since drafted uh, his his replacement as well with Jaelan Phillips, and we'll move on to the roster of linebackers and edge rushers shortly. As you can see, here is the Miami Dolphins linebacker and edge rushers and how their snap counts were, and you can see that um, Andrew Van Ginkel and Jerome Baker, out of the personnel that are remaining from last year's linebackers, starting units and edge rushers, they have the most snaps, uh, and then you have Emmanuel Agba as well. Uh, so the linebacking core needs to have someone to step up and be that standard bearer, or at least come close to those standard bearer stats. And uh, I think Van Ginkel, along with Jaelan Phillips, can approach those sack totals that TJ Watt and Khalil Mack had. And with respect to the tackles, let's hope that we get the Bernardrick McKinney from 2018 and 19, because that uh, Bernardrick McKinney played outstanding, had was a more complete back with respect to the run, and uh, he can fill that necessary void that the Dolphins need in the middle, in the box, to lessen the impact of offensive running backs uh, getting their yards. Where the Dolphins, and I'll show you later on in the presentation, in the video, uh, where the Dolphins were lacking with respect to run defense. And we're gonna go over all of the various areas where the Dolphins need to improve, and how the mindset of the team is changing with respect to the linebacking core, uh, the scheme and the concepts of where they're headed to with the personnel they have. So as we move on to the next set of information, Here we have the current Dolphins PFF ratings. And as you can see, no one on this current core was above 80. Van Ginkel came close with a 79.3, but I'm hoping that he will step up. Not that he played bad last year, because he had a very good season last year, but now the expectations for him are increased because of Van Noy's departure, and he needs to step up his game to be that standard bearer type edge rusher, linebacker for the Miami Dolphins. And like I was saying before, Benardrick McKinney is coming back off of an injury plagued 2020, and we're hoping that we can get the 2019 2018 version of Benardrick McKinney, uh, so that the run defense can be more stout. Um, I'm also looking forward to seeing how well Vince Beagle uh, approaches the season. Uh, he missed all of last year with an Achilles injury, but I'm expecting some very good things, some great things from Beagle. He showed potential, and now it's a matter of him being able to put that on the field, show that on the field. Uh, the Dolphins have made some acquisitions or additions to the linebacking core. I mentioned Benardrick McKinney previously, but they also added uh, Duke Riley and uh, Brendan Scarlett. And in another video, I will do a all 22 on how well each of them uh, played last year, what their strengths are, and what they need to improve on. Uh, I'm looking forward to this unit as a whole because there are holdovers that have been on the practice squad that need to show what they can do. There's opportunities there. Like I said, there were departures from the linebacking core from last year. Other than, in addition to Kyle Van Noy, Camel Grugier Hill was not re-signed as well. So there are opportunities for one or two of these practice squad players, Tyson Render, uh, Jason Strobridge, uh, uh, to come on and have an impact, especially since the Landon Roberts, uh, he may be starting the season on the pup list. So there are going to be opportunities for those players to show what they can do, even though the league has decided to only have 3 preseason games. That's even more of a reason why they need to step their game up and show what they can do consistently so that they can make that good impression so that they can make the team. Uh, some of the holdovers, Sam Iguavin, Jerome Baker, well, he led the team in tackles last year. So looking for continued success from them. And you have the main stalwart as far as the edge rushers are concerned with Emmanuel Agba. I mean, he's coming up on a contract year. So he's going to be ready and willing to uh, get his stats up to par with those standard bearers as well. I would love for him to get double digits in sacks along with uh, Van Ginkel and Jaelan Phillips. I mean, that's the recipe because the Dolphins, and I'll show you in the stats in a little bit later, how the Dolphins were too dependent on the blitz. Even though they had 41 sacks last year, they were a little too dependent on the blitz and were not as effective as we would wanted them to be on in blitzing situations. So therefore, that's why they have decided to uh, focus on edge rushers, and they got the best edge rusher in the draft, in my opinion, with respect to Jaelan Phillips. Now, the Dolphins, as I said, they one of the things that was lacking, or was, I guess, a sore point for the Dolphins last year, was that even though Kyle Van Noy, he had considerably less snaps than the standard bearers, he actually had more missed tackles. So as you look at the screen, and I'll blow that up so you can see it maybe a little more clearly. Uh, Kyle Van Noy on this list here of current Dolphins and the standard bearers and possible acquisitions that I'll speak on, that right now are highlighted in black. Um, Kyle Van Noy led that group with 12 missed tackles. So another reason why maybe the Greer and Flores moved on from Van Noy. But as you can see, uh, the acquisitions that I have up there in black are KJ Wright, Avery Williamson, Sione Takitaki, and Chandler Jones, and also Melvin Ingram, who has been in to the Dolphins facility. We're just waiting to see if they can get a contract finalized, but he only had one missed tackle the season that he last played, and as you can see, uh, there are reasons why the Dolphins moved on from Kyle Van Noy, and as you also can see, uh, Landon Roberts up there high on the list as well. So, and Bobby Wagner, although he is third on the list, he had over 100 tackles last year. So uh, his percentage of missed tackles is way lower than either Van Noy or Landon Roberts. So uh, again, standards that you would like to see the Dolphins achieve, or at least come very close to achieving, with respect to the play of the linebackers and edge rushers. So as we go into some of the Dolphin defense rankings for 2020, some of the areas that I'd like to speak on. You had the Dolphins, although they ranked six in the number of times that they blitzed. They blitzed 40%, almost 40%, 41% of the time. Um, with those blitzes, they managed only less than a quarter of their were actual pressures on the quarterback. So they were right in the average of 16 uh, for the league. They were 16th, which is something I think that they need to improve on. Uh, Also, uh, with respect to hurries, they ranked 19th, only getting hurrying the quarterback 9.2% of the time. So again, people wondered why they drafted Jaelan Phillips rather than maybe Najee Harris. Stats, when you look at it, I know that sometimes stats can hide things, but in this instance, these stats are telling you where the Dolphins felt as though they needed to improve on defense, and you don't really know how they prioritize each position, but I could tell you by looking at these stats, they definitely prioritized the edge rusher over most everything except for the pick at 6 with Jalen Waddle. So they needed to generate a more natural pass rush. Uh, when you think about how many times that they had the blitz and were successful on the blitz, uh, you see that they want to go with a more natural pass rush to balance out the scheme and the concepts of their pressure. Also, one other thing I'd like to point out was that um, although the Dolphins ranked sixth in blitzing, they only ranked 16th in quarterback knockdowns. So again, get into the quarterback, putting pressure on the quarterback 8.4% of the time they got to hit the quarterback. So they needed to improve the edge rushing position, and they did so with Jaelan Phillips. And if I did misspeak, the Dolphins sacked the quarterback 41 times rather than 40 times, and thus they were 10th in the league in sacks. But again, if you can get that pass rush with just your four personnel, your in the Dolphins case, the three defensive linemen. Sometimes they work a hybrid where they may have four defensive linemen. But if you can get that pass rush without blitzing, that makes the secondary coverage that much easier to do and that much tougher, so that they can eat and get more interceptions. And when you think about the improvements that they're trying to make in the linebacking unit with Benardrick McKinney, being able to stuff that run, and we'll go over the run stats. You'll see how important that is. Now, speaking of that, the Dolphins ranked 17th in yards allowed, and they allowed 4.4 yards per carry. So they were middle of the pack, 17th. You know, I think Flores would like to have all of these defensive stats in the top 10. So there's work to do, because in some instances they were in the top 10, but in others they weren't. So uh, with respect to power success rank, where those are power runs, and those power success is a percentage of runs on third or fourth down, 2 yards or less to go, that achieved a first down or touchdown. They were at 26. So therefore they were putting themselves in allowing the offense to be in short yardage situations, and their defensive line and linebackers weren't able to stop them to getting those third and third and shorts, fourth and shorts on a consistent basis. Their rate of success was, or the opponent's success was 71%. So that's why they ranked 26 in the league. When you think about uh, the stuff rate as well, where the opposing team's running back is tackled at or behind the line of scrimmage, they were again just in the middle of the pack, average. Uh, at they were 16th in the league, and when you think about where this defense wants to be, they need to improve that. So that way, if you can make tackles for losses, that improves the chances of you being successful on third down. If you can stuff that run in first or second down, you can then put that opposing offense in situations where it's third and long more times, and therefore the secondary, Byron Jones, uh, Xavier Howard, Javon Holland, Eric Rowe. They can be put in situations where the pass play, the timing has to be longer, so therefore they have more of an opportunity to intercept the ball because of the pass rush that's going to be biting down on those QBs, opposing QBs. So it all works together, but the Dolphins would like to have a situation where they can generate that pass rush on a consistent basis without blitzing, as well as have those uh, linebackers and defensive linemen be a little more stout on first and second down. And just to carry over against the run, the Dolphins were pretty good except for one area. Their yards per average for opposing running backs, and you can see on as you look at this graph, the charts are saying that, or this table, excuse me, is saying that the runs to the left, outside, and left tackle, they were pretty good. They were seventh and 11th on the left side of the line. So, uh, oh, and when I say that, I'm talking about the right defensive ends and the uh, the outside linebacker on that side. So uh, they were pretty good on that side, but when you get to the middle, the A gaps and the B gap, that's where they had a problem. Uh, the middle guard, in between the middle and the center and the guards, they gave up 4.5 yards per carry, which puts them at 19th. And when you think about that, that is something that um, Bernardrick McKinney is coming in to improve upon. And after, I think, when Raekwon Davis was getting more time after Godchild went down for the season and Raekwon Davis came in, that number improved, but overall it was still finishing up at 4.5 yards per carry through the A and B gaps, and that's something that you can't have to be successful on a regular basis. They need to improve there, and I'm hopeful that Bernardrick McKinney can do that. When you look at the runs to the offense's right tackle or the left side, left defensive end, the Dolphins rank 25th by allowing a whopping 5.02 yards per carry. Again, that's something that you need to improve upon because the league average was 4.41 yards per carry. So, Bernardrick McKinney, make sure you have your chin strap tight and play to what we hope you can be and play to your 2018-2019 form. When the Dolphins were on defense and uh, they in passing situations, the Dolphins, with respect to giving up yards to the running backs, they rank 27th in the league. And again, that's something that you don't want. So um, those linebackers need to be more athletic. I think a Duke Riley, who I've seen on film, and I'll show you in a future video, uh, moves his hip very well with respect to getting it to his drops, and I'm hoping that he can have an impact on that aspect of covering the running backs downfield. Um, to rank 27th, again, these numbers, when you look at it, that's someplace that I know Flores wants to improve on. And with the tight ends, the Dolphins were pretty doggone good. And I know people talk about and ragged on Eric Rowe for the game against Waller, but he was playing him very, very tightly. And those were some outstanding passes and receptions by Derek Carr and Waller in that game. I mean, it was very close. Rowe and the linebackers played the tight ends very well. They ranked 10th in the league in allowing yards from the tight end position. So uh, consistency and continued success for Rowe and the linebackers in regards to the tight end position. And I think that Rowe doesn't have to worry about losing his position this year. I think that Brandon Jones is his replacement for maybe in 2022. But right now, if he continues to play like he did in 2020, he'll have a starting spot on this team. And sometimes those linebackers, uh, when they're playing in a in a 3-4, uh, where they're not expecting or it's not uh, a definite passing situation, they too have to continue to do well against the tight ends in their zones when they do play zone. Let's move on. Uh, I'm looking at the rosters and I'm thinking that um, what you see here on the screen is is probably going to be what the Dolphins go into the season with respect to overall with the roster and the practice squad. Uh, but as far as who's going to be playing game day, uh, oh, and before I go on to that, let me just state this that um, Calvin Munson, I know he's been here for about 2, 3 years, about 3 years now, or he's gone his third year, and Jonathan Ledbetter as well. Um, I don't know if they're gonna make the 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 practice squad or the roster, opening day roster, because of the uh, acquisitions of uh, Brennan Scarlett and Duke Riley. But you never know what happens in camp. But I know that my impression of Calvin Munson and that I saw him in the last game of the year against Buffalo, and uh, it was less than desirable. I'll say that. Um, but moving forward, how I see the the positions of edge rusher and linebacker, I see Jaelan Phillips, of course, the number one draft pick. I have great expectations for him. I'm hoping he can get anywhere between 6 to 12 sacks. If he gets more than that, he's definitely well on his way to being Defensive Rookie of the Year. Andrew Van Ginkel, I know last year I said that he was going to be the most improved player on the Dolphins, a surprise, and he more than lived up to that. His impact on the game is not just on just not on the line of scrimmage with respect to the defensive plays. He made special teams plays as well. So I'm looking for more of the same from Andrew Van Ginkel. Vince Beagle, as I said, he's coming back off an injury, but I think that he will have uh, a pretty good season. He has the flexibility to play the line and the linebacker position. But just for argument's sake, and to put him somewhere, I put him as an edge rusher as well. Tyson Render, I think it's time for him. I think it's his time to make this 53 man roster. And Jason Strobridge. Now, the linebackers, of course, you sign Bernardrick McKinney. It would be a disappointment if he's going to make the he's going to make the 53 man roster. He's going to be playing a lot of inside linebacker along with Jerome Baker, where I'm hoping that the two of them together, or in situations where one is on the field and the other isn't, that they will be able to uh, stop the run sufficiently so that they can put the opposing offense in bad situations. Duke Riley, I think that he'll be a situational player with respect to uh, certain packages where you may have uh, uh, three tight ends or two tight ends on the field, so he may come in as well and play significantly. Um, Sam Equivon, I think he makes this roster. Um, he was a starter at one point in time, and I think he's very dependable. And he's found a role here, both as a situational player and as a special teamer. And when he is in the game, I don't feel as though there is a feeling of dread when I see him on the field. So I'm confident in Equivon's abilities, and I think that he will make this 53 man roster in the linebacker core. Brennan Scarlett, again, signing him. I'm hoping that they can put Scarlett in the right situations where they ask him to be a pursuit and chase guy rather than standing up at the point of attack to a tackle. But him and McKinney coming over from Houston, they've played together. They know each other. I'm hoping for good things from Brennan Scarlett. Um, I don't. I'm not sure if he can play special teams, but he may not be asked to do that much. But I think that he'll make the 53 man roster opening day. And I didn't forget Landon Roberts, but I'm not sure if he's going to be physically able to play week one. So that's why I have him listed on the pup list. And again, that gives an opportunity for Tyson Render, Jason Strobridge, or even a Nick Coe. I don't know what his weight is at now, him and Ledbetter, but um, they need to uh, show what they can do, and training camp is the opportunity to show what they can do. Possible acquisitions. So now that we've announced the what I think would be the opening day linebackers and edge rushers, if there's an opportunity to pick up one of these players, I think that Greer and Flores are going to be thinking long about it. Um, KJ Wright, they've already been in. There's rumors that they've had discussions with him. They've had discussions with Melvin Ingram as well. Um, Avery Williams, he played with Pittsburgh last year for a while. Um, he's someone that could could come in if somebody uh, to provide some depth at the linebacker position. Uh, Chandler Jones, I know everybody should know about him. He used to play with New England and with Arizona, and he's got 97 career sacks. So if they needed to bring in somebody, if they miss out on Ingram, if they miss out on some other players, he's a possibility as well because he's not happy there where he's at with I think it's Detroit now. Um, and Sione Takitaki, the kid has great ratings for run defense, and I know he has a nose for the ball because he sniffs out he sniffs out plays in coverage. He may not have the best rating, but uh, he's got some highlights where he's made some interceptions as a linebacker. Uh, uh, when you think about what you know, the situation could be where if somebody got hurt in training camp, he's a young guy, um, and he's active. So those are some of the players that I think that if something happens in training camp where somebody goes down for significant time, and it could happen like last year it happened to Beagle, um, Flores and Greer could look in any one of these players' direction to uh, bring them on to the team to fill that gap. Now, this was my first opportunity to speak with people via YouTube, and I'd like to thank you for your time. I would like to remind you to hit that like button as you leave. Please come back because there's going to be more videos like this, and I plan on doing uh, uh, live talk panels as the show gets larger and more popular. I plan on uh, doing those, putting having those situations up. I think that this year there's going to be more than enough opportunity for Dolphin fans to cheer and be proud of their Miami Dolphins. So uh, I will be hopefully providing uh, commentary and interaction. I don't know what time I'll probably be doing it. It may be uh, mid afternoons on certain days. It could be late night after some of the other more notable goats finish up, just to give people who still have that fix. They may fix the talk or didn't get an opportunity to say something. Come on to D Dub. Come on and dialogue with me. All right, I'll be here, able and willing to talk with you. So I like to, again, thank everybody uh, for viewing the show, and I'm looking forward to more opportunities in the very near future. And on that note, I will say good evening, and hopefully you have a very nice night. And if you're catching this during the day, have a good day. Them spinning.